So recently there's been some leaked audio that heavily implies that something Sonic Adventure related is coming. Is it a remake? Let's discuss right now.
I got hot sauce in my bag, swag.
A quick shout out to Sonic882. This is a fan art of Metal Knuckles that they drew, and it looks like it's Metal Knuckles actually tearing apart Metal Knuckles originally, and so I think that's pretty sweet. I mean, if there's a fight between Metal Knuckles and Metal Knuckles, obviously Metal Knuckles would win because he is the Knuckles overlord. He oversees everything in the world, and so yeah, I'm a really big fan of this, and honestly, Metal Knuckles looks so conniving with that smirk on his face. I love it so much. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Anyway, hello there beautiful human. My name is RidersDX and welcome to my channel, where today we've got some pretty exciting things to talk about actually, because as you all know, I'm a big fan of Sonic, but you may not know that I grew up with the adventure games in particular. My first Sonic game was Sonic Heroes, and I shortly got into like the adventure games afterwards, and so those like era of games have a very special place in my heart. You know, there's just a lot of like great memories, a lot of great nostalgia that's associated with it for me, and you know, with Battle Bikini Bottom Rehydrated being like a thing right now, nostalgia is pretty much a really huge thing in my mind, and I love myself and hate myself for it, because I'm like, yes, I love that all this old stuff is coming back to the light and getting its attention again, but at the same time I'm like, well, it kind of sucks that they're relying so much on the old stuff and not really like putting any trust into making brand new ideas also. And so that's a really big discussion for a whole nother day. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is recently there's been a leaked audio released onto the internet that heavily implies something Sonic Adventure related coming, and so this leak actually comes from TSSZ News, and here are some excerpts from their article that they talked about. On the night of January 4th, we at TSSZ received a particularly interesting email to our news tip system. The source chose to register a fresh, anonymous email address as to protect their identity, and for that reason, TSSZ cannot definitively verify the source's identity. In this email, they wrote to us, "This is a live rehearsal recording with Mr. Ezio Sakamoto in Tokyo for a concert about a big Sonic Adventure event late this year I created using a recorder. I managed to record, but I don't know the details. The idea was to recreate a live Sonic Adventure Open Your Heart demo live for Old Field at the event. There was a new rendering of Sonic and his friends in the studio, maybe Sonic Adventure Port. Some notes about the recording. Mr. Ezio Sakamoto has problem with the lyrics and his voice has too much delay and reverb. The drummer played some parts improvised with new fills, and the band had technical problems while introducing the song. Johnny Gioli track was referenced in the background. Second file is adjusting audio gain. Sorry for bad English. Use translation tool." Included with the email were two MP3 files, sanetry.mp3 and sanetry2.mp3. We've gotten our fair share of so-called leaks over the years, some of which we reported on, others we've debunked. We've tried to provide you with the most accurate info we can over the years, but sometimes it's difficult to do that. These files are different from our usual fare, so we're taking a different approach. And that's actually everything I'm going to read from the article right now, because the article, first of all, is extremely long. Like, there's a lot of analysis they went into analyzing these audio files, and also I can't figure out how to like put the audio files into this video, and so you know, I just kind of thought that like they put so much into this analysis, and the audio files are there for your listening pleasure on the link. And also I think TSSZ did such a great job of just like really trying to make a very neutral and educated guess as to the reliability of this leak, and so I encourage you all to actually go to the article and read exactly what they went through to analyze the data and why they think that this is pointing to something very important later this year, because that's what they concluded, is that they think that this rehearsal audio that they got sent to them is real, and that it could very well be pointing to a Sonic Adventure like project, which could even include a remake. And so first of all, before I talk about my thoughts about this and whether I think a remake is a good idea or not, I wanted to see what you all thought about this. And so I went to my Twitter and Discord and asked you all what you thought about the possibility of a Sonic Adventure remake coming out later this year. And here are some things you all had to say. If you want a chance to be included in a video like this, then feel free to follow me on Twitter or join a Discord server so that you can be one of the first ones to see if I pose a question like this and get a chance to reply and get your comment featured in the video. But there were some people that were obviously very excited about this news and were really looking forward to the possibility that Sonic Adventure may be coming back in such a great way, either later this year or beyond that. This is genuinely my opinion. Oh hell yeah. I think the Sonic Adventure remake would be awesome. Who knows, maybe Child Guard would make its return. Let's see what Sega brings us this year. Honestly, I think it'd be really good, especially for kids that never played the Sonic Adventure series. It could could honestly attract a lot of new fans as well. I feel like it would be good for Sega to make a Sonic Adventure Remake. It would make them a lot of money and the fans would be happy. I would like to see an Adventure Remake. I never played the two adventure games, so it would be nice to see what's so fun about them. And while there's a lot of people that were very excited about this news, there were other people who were not as happy about this news or very cynical or very critical or just like keeping their guard up in terms of like how this project is actually going to turn out to be. As great as it would be if this rumor is true, I still think Sonic Team needs to stop relying on nostalgia and come up with some fresh ideas. An Adventure Remake would be nice to restructure the game and fix up the way the story is told, its flaws, and datedness. However, I much prefer for them to wait maybe 10 or so years for Sonic Team to pick up their shit and stop being idiots. Could they really remake it? Could they modernize the writing? They would have to hand it over to Toys for Bob or another company to remake it. I don't think Sega has it in them to do it right now. I want to see a remake, but I'm a little scared if Sonic Team is the one who is making it. The team's game developers have been getting much lazier with Sonic games nowadays. It's hard for me to trust them after the immeasurable disappointment of Forces. I'll accept it, but the nostalgia pandering should end here. I think Sega should only do it if they intend to properly build off of it afterwards using experience and ideas from the remake. If they use Adventure as their next nostalgia cash grab after classic Sonic, things will go down even if the remake ends up good, and I do not want it. So there's a lot of diversity in terms of people's opinions on this, and so obviously a lot of people are very excited about the Adventure Remake being a possibility, but there's other people who have other reasons for not being as excited for it. And so what do I ultimately think about this? Well, I have talked about this topic a little bit before, and I've actually have had the opinion of not really thinking it's a good idea. And some of the reasons that I didn't think it was a good idea was because of things like, oh, it's nostalgia pandering, and oh, I don't have confidence that Sonic Team would actually do a very good job on it. But lately, if I had to be honest, I've been turning a bit of a new leaf, and I'm actually pretty supportive of a remake now. And there's a lot of reasons to why I think a remake is a very good idea. So first off, there's this debate of whether like Sonic Adventure needs to be changed to be modernized for today's age, or if it needs to be kept exactly the same. Now, I do think that it should be remade in the style of like say Crash Bandicoot or like Spyro the Dragon. They basically remade everything from the ground up, remade all the graphics, redid all the voice acting and such, but they left the game's integral content intact. They didn't really change the script that much. They didn't really change the level designs and layouts that much. They might have bruised up some glitches here and there, but other than that, they kept the original experience pretty much the same. And I think that's what they should do for Sonic Adventure as well. It's just not a good idea to mess with something that so many people have such fond memories of. You know, yes, the script writing is not the best, and yes, the voice acting was not the greatest, but they can't redo the voice acting at least. But the script really should be left untouched, because unless there was something that was really offensive in it, it was a part of the original game, and just like changing it up wouldn't really be right in my opinion. You know, you would have to not call it a remake anymore. You would probably call it a reimagining of sorts, or like just like a brand new version of it, you know, kind of something that I imagine they would do for Sonic 06 if they ever decide to like revisit that game. But Sonic Adventure has a lot of like positive memories in a lot of people, and that's just the power of nostalgia. It's the power of memories. It's the power of emotionally tying a game to your childhood. You know, that's just it. Sonic Adventure is tied to so many people's childhoods, including my own. And you know, while I would be really interested in seeing like how Sonic Adventure would be as like a brand new experience with like all these little changes and such, I think deep down I wouldn't be a big fan of it, because you know, it's stepping on an experience that I hold so close to my heart. You know, Sonic Adventure was one of my favorite games as a kid, and you know, it just wouldn't feel right to see it like changed in like that sort of manner. I'm all for like redoing the voice acting, you know, making the environments brand new again and making the gameplay more smooth, but to actually change the game up to make like new levels and to change like the storyline and such and change the script writing, I don't feel good about that. I don't think that's a good idea, and so I think the game should be left intact for the most part, beyond like changes that obviously a remake would have. Now, there's also the point that a lot of people made that this is nostalgia pandering and that they were getting sick of Sega doing nostalgia pandering, and this is something that I struggle with a lot, because I absolutely agree, and it's actually the viewpoint I took on originally, that I don't think it's a good idea that Sega is relying so much on nostalgia, and I still don't think it is, because once this nostalgia wave dies down, because it is going to die down one day, I don't think nostalgia will ever die down, but this nostalgia wave that we've been having recently is going to die down one day. And in fact, we've already seen it happen with like classic Sonic for the most part. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sonic Mania 2, if it ever does come out, is going to still sell really well, but people are pretty sick of like the nostalgia pandering of classic Sonic, and you've seen it in the community quite a bit, and I think that will be reflected in sales and such as well if they keep pushing classic Sonic the way that they have. But the same thing's gonna happen to Adventure Sonic, and at that point, if it does happen, then what's next? You know, what's Sega gonna do? Eventually Sonic does have to start trying like new ideas again, because otherwise the franchise is just not gonna grow, and it's just gonna be stuck in this constant cycle of relying on its past, and that's not good at all. You know, this is something I've seen a lot in the Crash Bandicoot community, where they're getting pretty tired of the fact that there's been so much nostalgia pandering with the franchise, because you know, you had the Insane Trilogy, you had Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, but it's been almost an entire decade. I think it already has been. I think it's been a whole decade since they had a brand new Crash Bandicoot game, and that is insane. Now, I don't think Sonic would ever get to that point. Sonic is never gonna like die out like that and come back with just remakes like that. I think Sonic's gonna keep going and going and going, even if his sales like do decline even more. But I don't want Sega to be in this constant cycle where they feel like they have to rely on nostalgia to make Sonic successful again. There was a time where having brand new ideas in the Sonic franchise actually worked. You know, people were accepting and loved like the brand new ideas. And I'm sure that time will come again. It's just that I really hope Sega and Sonic team and whoever is developing Sonic games in the future has what it takes to make those brand new ideas and wow the audience again. But I think Sonic Adventure Remake is still a pretty good idea, because nostalgia and remakes are at an all-time high right now. There's so much interest around remakes and remasters and such. I really think it'd be foolish not to take advantage of it. It's gonna die down eventually, but right now, if Sega jumps on it, they can make a lot of money, and there's no reason for Sega to turn away from like a money-making idea. It's not a good business move, and so I really do hope that like Sega is considering like revisiting Sonic Adventure again, and even Sonic Adventure 2. I really think they should revisit both games, because both games are so tied together that it just feels wrong to revisit Sonic Adventure 1 and not 2, especially because I personally think 2 is the better game, but that is another topic for another day. But those are my overall thoughts on the idea of a Sonic Adventure Remake and its impact on the franchise for the future. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. First of all, do you think this leak is fake, or do you think it's real? And second of all, do you think a Sonic Adventure Remake is a good idea or not? Let me know why or why not in the comment section below. I'm really interested in hearing what you all have to say. I think this is such a cool topic to talk about. Sonic Adventure is one of my favorite games growing up, and it's just so cool that like there's so much interest around it still, because I love talking about it, and so it's always such a pleasure for me to be able to talk about some of my favorite older games. But yeah, thank you so much. Okay, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these, want to see more in the future, follow me on Twitter or Twitch, and join my Discord server, the Spongy Garden. Special shout out to Reese Gaming, Team Rival Sonic Gamer, and Glitched Alphin. These are my patrons / YouTube members. If you'd like to become a patron or YouTube member, get access to a whole bunch of different perks, and please check out the links in the description box below. But alright, this is Riders, riding out.